Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm doing this video for one of our new traders, but I'm putting it in this group and on this channel so that everyone will benefit from the analysis that I'm giving here. So first I begin with a look at Nifty. Nifty is index of about 50. Nifty 50 is an index of about 50 of the top companies in India, top 50 companies in India traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Sorry, not the New York Stock Exchange. It is the National Stock Exchange. All right. And yeah, the New York Stock Exchange is the NYSE. This is the National Stock Exchange here in India. So Nifty. And Nifty is a representation of of these major companies and its price movements. And if you observe right here in October 2021, it had hit its all-time high. The ATH means all-time high. And this SR is support and resistance, okay? So there has been a resistance at certain levels. You will see this. And so after the all-time high, which is also a resistance level, the price went down, continued to move down, okay, gradually, and then it tried to go back up, and it faced a resistance here and came back down and up and down, all the way until June of 2022, when the price began to move up consistently, and this has been a good move up. But again, there's a resistance level. Now, this resistance is not a particular price point. Although that line shows up at 18,155, it is an area of price, okay? It's an area of resistance, and it went down, and then a couple of days ago, there was a huge gap down, and then the price is coming back up again. So this is what we are expecting, what we're looking at with Nifty. Now, to the 6 stocks that I've asked him to find with several evaluations. So what I've asked him to do is look for stocks where the stock price is above the 20 period moving average, and the 20 is above the 60 period moving average, and the 60 is above the 200 period moving average. And I've looked at the chart zoomed out, and I noticed that there is several times that this line that I've drawn has been a resistance level. See that? So this is called a trend line, and 2 trend lines, top and bottom, together makes for a channel pattern. Okay, and then of course this channel is getting smaller. If you notice, the size of that is getting smaller as well, and it looks like the price just refuses to go above that. Now here's the all-time high as well. So what to do with this stock? All right, here's what I'm looking for. All right, I want to see if tomorrow when market opens, will this price break out of this channel, or will it hit this resistance and come back down? There are several things I'm looking for. If it comes back down, I'll leave it on my watch list and I'll just move it down to the bottom, and I'll keep watching it until it goes to the bottom and then begins to make its way up. At that point, I may enter and try to get some profits there. So if you look here, let's say that you had entered here at the bottom and you stayed until now. That would be about 37%. Remember, if you put your money in the bank, you're looking at about a 5% profit. That's all you get, okay? So that would have been 30% from June 2022. So July, August, and it's not even September, 2 months, over 30%. Not bad, okay? Although you had the up and down moves during this time, but if you're trading within this channel pattern, you can look for some good profits, okay? Some good possibilities are there. And so it might turn down, and if it does, just just wait for it to come back down and then retrace and go up again. All right. Then the other possibility is that it could continue going up. If it goes up, I would wait for the next day to see if it retraces back down and then bounces up from here again. This is usually what happens. Okay. And if that is the case, and let's say you enter right at the top here and up to the all-time high, you're looking at about 5% profit. Not bad. Okay, you're looking at about 5% profit. That's what I would do if I entered there. Then if and the all-time high would be a resistance level. Now, if it breaks out of that, I would look to see if there's a retracing and a bounce back up. I could enter again. Now, where should your stop loss be? Okay, when you do this, you look for the more recent support level, and the recent support level is right here, and I would use that as my stop loss. See this right here? I would place that as my stop loss. That means if it breaks out, okay, and but then all of a sudden something weird happens and it turns below, it starts going down south, then I would take this much loss and I would get out of the trade. Okay, I don't want it to keep going down further, down and keep losing money and be stuck with this trade. All right, I just want to take a small loss and get out. But this may not be such a small loss, because if you look here, you're looking at about more than 10%. Okay, that's a pretty good big size. So what you do is, when it does break out of this and you enter the trade, only enter with about 10 or 20% of your capital. Okay, so I've asked this person to put in 3,000 rupees and to buy three stocks, only three stocks, three companies. Okay, now that means you spend 1,000 rupees for each company. So out of the 1,000 you plan to invest into this, only put in 10 or 20%. That means you put in only about 100 or 200 rupees, or you might even go up to 30%. All right, and so that if it turns down all of a sudden, this 10% you lose, you only lose 10% of 200 instead of a 10% of 1,000. So wait until you get confirmation that the movement is going in the direction that you want. Then you enter with the rest of the 20, 30, 50% to bring you up to the 100%. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you have questions or doubts, please leave it in the comments below. NHPC is the next one on the list. And again, here is a resistance level. And if it breaks out of this resistance, I would look to see if the next day, if there's a retracement down and then a bounce back up. If that happens, then I would look to enter with about 20% or 30%. Okay, but then my stop loss would be down here, which is a big stop loss. Okay, so therefore I may only enter with a 10 or 20%. And then once I get confirmation that it is moving in the direction that I want, then I would enter with more. Okay, so you might be looking at about 8 to let's see, 10%. Okay, almost 10% profit right there from this resistance level all the way to the all-time high. Okay, all-time high quite often acts as a very strong resistance. Sometimes it breaks out. If it breaks out, you can look for a retracement and for a bounce back up, and you could enter the trade again. That's NHPC, how to evaluate this and where to enter. Okay, now why do I say that if it goes above the resistance, that the chances are that it would move up? Well, I'm looking at various factors. See, look at this. The stock price is right now above the 20 period moving average. The 20 period moving average is above the 60. The 60 is above the 200. All these are positive clues that the stock is on an uptrend. Not only that, if you look here, the highs are higher and higher and higher, and the lows are higher and higher and higher. These are various ways, and then you can evaluate the stock and to see if it's going to go up or down. Will you know for sure, 100% sure, that if it's going to go up? No, there is no way. I would say there's probably maybe about 70% chance that I can be sure it's going to go up. But then there's a 30% chance it could come down. That's why we keep the stop loss very strict. That you need to strictly follow this stop loss. Okay, very important. And also, when you enter the trade, enter with only 10, 20, or 30%. Don't enter with the whole amount, so that you don't risk all of your capital. The next one is Canara Bank. All right, Canara Bank, again, stock price above the 20 period moving average. The 20 period moving average above the 200 period moving average. The 60 is below that. Okay, not so great, but it still is a good moving stock right now. But here's what I want to do is here's a resistance level, and wait to see if it breaks out of this resistance level. And if it does, there could be a retracement back down and then a bounce back up. Now look at here's where I would put my stop loss. See this support level here? Okay, this is where I would put my stop loss. In case if it comes down sometime, it would just bounce up from here, okay, without going. But if it breaks down from here, then I would want to exit and take the loss and get out. Okay, don't stay there hoping that it would come back up again. You never know; it could go down. Go down. Canada Bank is a big company, strong company. It's not something that's going to close overnight or anything like that. But still, you want to be careful. Okay, not that it's going to close overnight, but you want to be careful because you don't want to tie up all your money in one stock and you're sitting at a loss of 30, 40, 50%, and you don't want to get stuck with that. Okay, look at this. If you had at this resistance level, if this had gone down, I want you to see how much of a loss it would have been. Look at that. That would be about 28% loss. Okay, at a loss like that, many people don't want to sell and they hold on, thinking that somehow it will come back up again. The next one on the list is Tata Power. All right, this also looks decent, except that it is on a sideways move. Okay, but the moving averages look fairly good. And but look, this 20 is trying to go above the 200. So I would wait until this resistance level is crossed. By that time, the 20 would probably be above the 200. Okay, here is where I would put my stop loss right there at the next support level here. My stop loss would go here, and I would make sure if it's going to go up again. Now, what should you look for as how much profits you want to get? Well, up to the next resistance level, that's 6%. Or if it continues to go beyond that, up to the all-time high, that's 25%. Okay, Ashok Leyland is the next one. All right, another channel pattern, but it's like right in the middle of the channel pattern or close to the top. So I would not enter. I would watch carefully to see what happens, if it's going to bounce, hit this as the resistance and come back down, or is it going to go up? If it goes up, then I would enter, but here's my stop loss, right? Around 138.55. I would just put it at 138, okay? Not worry about the 55, a short Leyland. And then I would look to move up to the all-time high. The amount won't be very much, but still, that's something you could look at. That's about 5% profit right there with a short Leyland. Okay. All right, the next one, last one on the list is Federal Bank. Again, same thing with Federal Bank. Okay, here there's a resistance. If it breaks out of the resistance, you could enter with about 10 or 20%. I would probably take only 10% because if you look here, your most recent support is over 12% below. So if the price goes down and it goes through this level, you lose that much money, but make sure you put the stop loss. Okay, make sure the stop loss is there. But when you enter with only about 10 or 20%. That means 100 or 200. Okay, or you could just Yeah, that's enough, 100 or 200. And then when it continues to move up in the direction that you want, you can enter with the rest of the money, another 20 or 30%, 2 or 3 days. Take 2 or 3 days to enter that, okay, with the full amount of 1,000. Okay, I hope this video helps you. Um, how to evaluate the price movement, that it is a bullish and upward movement, and then how to evaluate when to enter the trade and with how much. That's your money management, right? Your capital management is there. How much should you enter the trade? Where to place the stop loss? Since the stop loss is so big, enter with only a little bit, 10 or 20%, and then keep increasing as you go up. And then where to exit. All right. And these are several things that I've shared here, and I hope this helps you. And if you have doubts about what I'm sharing, put a note, a question in the comments below.